Before I go to my observations in the budget, I would like to talk about the issues of my state. Especially, Polavaram is a very, very important project for our state, and our state is heavily dependent on the completion of a Polavaram project. We request the government to approve the revised cost estimate at an earlier date. We are thankful for the commitment given by the Honorable Finance Minister and Water Resource Minister. They have given an oral commitment also. We are grateful to you, ma'am, for that. But anything without the cabinet approving it, it will not be fruitful. So it is the Polavaram project is going on a very brisk phase right now, and Polavaram project is slated to be completed next year. So we request the government to act fast on this and approve the revised cost estimate. And coming to the other issue of medical colleges, so post bifurcation, we don't have tier 1 cities in Andhra Pradesh apart from Visakhapatnam. So not much private people are coming forward to set up super specialty hospitals. So our Chief Minister has come forward to construct 16 new medical colleges and super specialty hospitals. So we request the central government to help us out, because when there's no private people coming in, there's only option is a public sector investment in that. So even if you see pro rata compared to the other states, the number of medical colleges in Andhra Pradesh is very, very less. So we request the government to take care of this, because we have seen in the pandemic how important it is for medical department to be equipped properly. And coming to Andhra Pradesh Civil Supplies Corporation, for rice distributed under PDS, there are pending payments pertaining to 10% withheld amounts of rice subsidy from 2013-14, with this amounts to 1,599 crores. And even Pradhan Mantri Garib Ankalyan Yojana, which is 1723 crores. And even in the current year, we have 960 crores pending for the third quarter of financial year 2020-21 pertaining to advance claims. So we request the minister to take note of this and help release these funds at an earlier date. And Nivar cyclones devastated Andhra Pradesh. There were central government teams which visited our state during November and December. So they have made some assessments. So we request the government to release 2,275 crores financial assistance entitled under NDRF norms. So lot of damage has been done during that. We lost lot of lives, lot of property, and the state, the Nivar cyclone created havoc. So we request the government to help us in time, because any delay in helping us with the funds for a Nivar cyclone will not be of much use in the future. So, and coming to Manrega, madam, in Manrega, a lot of BPL people are dependent on Manrega, and there are like more than 3,000 crore pending payment for material component. So a lot of works are pending, and especially now, like there's more, after this pandemic, Manrega is really, really important for the survival of the BPL people in the state. So we request you, madam, to release, initiate action to release the pending payments in Manrega. And in the Reorganization Act, we were given a backward district grant, that is for the 7 backward districts of Andhra Pradesh, 50 crores per year per district. And for the last 2 years, we are entitled for 700 crores, which has been pending for a long period. We have requested several times. So we want the Honorable Minister to take note of this and release it at an earlier date. And madam, in the floor of the House, while state was being bifurcated, because of unviable finances, we were promised special category status. So it is our demand that special category status be given to our state. It's been, the period of AP Reorganization Act is for 10 years. Now it's been 7 years since the act was initiated. There's just 3 years left. We want the government to give us special category status. It is not that we're out of the thing we are asking. It was there in the NDA manifesto in 2014. Every person who campaigned in Andhra Pradesh said that they will grant a special category status. Now we are going through difficult times, madam. The finances of the state are such that what revenues we are getting is enough for salaries, pensions, and the basic running of the state. We are just surviving on borrowed finances. So we request the central government to help us grant special category status. And madam, coming to the issues in the budget, so like I was talking about true cooperative, to the spirit of cooperative federalism. So if you see during the 13th Finance Commission period, 32% was allotted for the states in the divisible pool of taxes. and we were getting around, the states, all the states put together, getting around 28% share of gross taxes. And if you see subsequently during the 14th Finance Commission period, the states got only 35% of gross taxes, even though the divisible pool of taxes, the state share was 42%. And subsequently, the cess and surcharges, which are not part of the divisible pool of taxes, have been increased. And this is unfair, madam, because if you see during the 15th Finance Commission period, though the states are entitled for 41% in divisible pool of taxes, we are getting just 30% in gross taxes, which is 5% less than even the 14th Finance Commission. We are at a loss. So the Honorable Finance Minister and the government should take note of this and help the states. It's not just Andhra Pradesh, madam. Every state gets to lose because of this. And I would also bring to the notice of the Honorable Minister regarding TOR, which was given for 15th Finance Commission. In the TOR, it says that 2011 population census will be taken for states like Andhra Pradesh, which implemented very strict population control measures. We are at a loss because earlier it was 1971 census. So if you see, if it is based on population, we get to lose. So some sort of arrangement has to be done so that we are not at loss for controlling the population, which was then a very important thing. And I would also like to bring to the notice of the Honorable Minister that in some of the centrally sponsored schemes, there is a sharing mechanism, like 60% is given by the center, 40% by the state, or 80-20, 90-10, it's various schemes. So in these projects, madam, I don't blame the center or I don't blame the state. There is a lot of communication gap. They write a letter, there are a lot of procedures to be followed, like 10, 15 people need to give for each and every bill. So because of this, there are a lot of delays in execution of the projects. If you see per year escalation cost, it is 6 to 7%, madam, for any project which is happening. And apart from the interest cost, what I'm talking, if the project is delayed by 2 years, it's going to be more than 10% loss for the government. So I request the finance minister to take a note of this and just calculate what is the loss per year. It's not just Andhra Pradesh or anything. All the states put together, all the central schemes, the delays which are, why we need to pay the escalation costs, why we need to bear the interest, because I am sure it's going to run into thousands of crores, which is a loss, which is a national waste, because this amount should be put for developing the infrastructure, and it should be efficiently used for capital investment. If you see national highways, they do not have such obstacles because the whole amount, whatever amount is being used for constructing any infrastructure project, is borne by the National Highway Department. Our Honorable Minister Gadkariji very proudly told in the House that we have completed in time, we have broke records in completion of the roads. We really appreciate that, and we wish the same model is employed for the other things also. We request the minister to whatever amount you want to allot for doing a project, let it be completely responsibility of either the state or the center, madam. This will avoid all deadlocks, and it will ensure that faster completion of the projects is there, and we will save thousands of crores in escalation costs and interest. And I would also like to bring to the notice of the minister that there are a lot of, we are supporting a lot of entities in this during this time of the this recession and crisis. We are giving a lot of stimulus for the various companies to get out of the bad phase. But if you see there, both from the center and the state, there is a lot of payments pending for various entities, and the issue is, once it is billed from the state or the center, then the entities need to pay the GST. One way we are talking of supporting them, waiving off their withheld amounts, waiving off their performance guarantees. The other way we are saying pay the GST even before the amount is realized, which is a drain on their working capital. So this is a very important issue. You can't expect, when the government is not paying, you can't expect the private people to do. If it is pending from a private party, it is agreeable. But if it's pending from the government, the business community should not be harassed on this or should not be penalized. Only after actual realization of the payment, the GST should be paid. I request the Honorable Minister to take a note